Everyone, this is Fat Pig Signals. We are here at the moment in the Acapulco event, which by the way just ended yesterday with the last conference called Mark Pasio, the Occult and Anarchy. At the moment we are located in the beautiful Paradise Beach that is located right to the Hotel Princess Riviera Diamante. Here we are with our... Say hi.
Hi Joseph, hi Fat Pig Signals.
Okay.
I'm Camille.
This is Camille. He is the founder of daat, Earth, which he will explain you in a couple of minutes. What is it about, how this is supposed to work, and how actually it works at the moment, and the technology that it's available in it. So let's take a seat. Okay. Okay, Camille, so
Hi.
Tell us more about yourself.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm a software developer for 17 years now, and I'm involved in several emancipatory technologies such as peer-to-peer, open source, as well as voluntarism. I'm also involved in independence, like building villages around the world for self-sustainability and things like that. And lately I developed a technology on that purpose that allows people to be more independent for peer-to-peer economy. We're trusting each other without any middlemen and trusting the product, which is that. The technology I'm about to talk about.
We heard that before you made that, there is a project that you made, if I'm not wrong, back in 2013, right? Something about Keys chain or something like that.
No, it's 2015 or 2016, early 2016. Yeah.
Okay.
It was called Checkcoin. It's still online. Yeah. That's the first version of this project.
Okay, so you could guys check at any moment. Right now you could check the page daat.earth. There you see more information about it. And also the Checkcoin. What's the page of the Checkcoin?
So CHECKOIN.org.
Okay, so it's
Or
basically...
we can put it on the video maybe later on.
Okay, we will add the link there.
So that's where you have the technical information for the moment.
Okay. Well, very good. Then tell us, for example, what is that trying to do to change the way we? Because as far as I understand, that is trying to make all the luxury products, or maybe health products, or important products, safety products, which needs to be original to be able to not counterfeit them ever with the technology they're offering. So I would like to know more about that. Obviously the audience would like to have everything clear before they might eventually want to invest in and understand the potential of this. As for myself, I heard about it and seems like a very, very different project. So tell us more about that, please.
So that is an anti-counterfeiting technology. It's based on an NFC microchip that we seal onto objects, and then people just need to put their phone next to the object to be sure about the authenticity of the product. So it can be anything. We are working with people in luxury, for example, jewel manufacturer, luxury bags, shoes, wine, perfume, pharmaceuticals, anything, and also money. For example, this is Satori coin. It's a physical Bitcoin made by our partner in Japan. So the current version has a QR code on the back, and it's meant to be exchanged from hand to hand and to be used like cash. But the thing is that it's only secured with a hologram, so it could be counterfeited. Now it's not worth the price because it's 0.001 Bitcoin, but next year maybe it's worth much more, so it might be worth it to counterfeit it. That's why we are working with them to implement our microchip onto the coin, so people just need to scan it and they are sure 100% about the authenticity of it. And we can provide extra information, such as the price expressed in USD or Euro or Mexican pesos, whatever. So people do not need to be an expert in Bitcoin, they don't need to know what a Satoshi coin is, they don't need to know how to make the difference between a real or fake Satoshi coin. They just need to put their phone next to it, and they are sure about what it is, and they can give it as cash or accept it as cash. And it's not limited to crypto, physical crypto. It can be gold or silver coins, gold coins. We are working with people in that domain as well to develop new kind of coins. So people don't need to be experts in crypto or precious metals to use this as cash, and they can have these assets in their pocket, not on the blockchain, and transactions are from hand to hand, so there is no record about any transaction. It means that it's 100% safe about privacy, much more than the cryptocurrencies. And also, because most of the information is read-only, it's also safe for internet censorship or shutdown. Because if you're backup of the database, you can still use this technology and exchange on a local network area.
Okay. Wow, this is lots of information. At the beginning, it might be hard to grasp it all at once, and obviously, this is a preliminary interview. All this information should take like hours to be able to explain it in very little detail, all of it. So any questions you guys would have, feel free to in the Telegram group to ask them, or even in Discord. You can find us in the Discord with the invite link in the YouTube 24 hours live stream. But well, let's keep going, because this sounds very, very profound, and I personally have I'm wondering how would it work, Camille, if you just said now the moments ago about even if it would go offline, it will still work.
Yeah.
Would you like to get into detail about that, please?
The thing is that every crypto needs to record transaction to prove that the ownership has changed hands. But as we exchange real tangible object, physical object we have in our hands, there is nothing to record, so it's a read-only database. After, there are extra services that will require read-write access, but for the basic use in emergency or for whatever reason, like censorship or like a natural disaster or anything, the basic function about exchanging the product and be sure 100% of what it is still works. Or if you just have, maybe you just need to have a few minutes of internet access every week to synchronize the database, and that's all. So it's resistant for that, but that's not the only aspect of it. And what I must say is that the authenticity is a core original feature of our technology, but it's not limited to it. The ecosystem is totally decentralized and neutral and open source, so anyone can propose services upon this. When someone scans an object, you can have a lot of services proposed. It's unlimited. For example, if you are an insurance company, you want to target owner of jewelry, you can target any owner of any object about any kind of category of objects. So you just have to write a few lines of HTML. It's really easy. You upload it on the blockchain, and then when people scan their necklace or their bracelets or whatever, they see your product listed, and because it's linked with their wallet, just with one click they can subscribe and show their jewelry for robbery or loss or whatever. And it's not limited to this, it's just an example. It can be a supply chain information, which is not our core domain of expertise. We are working with one of the big names, you know, Walton Chain, B-Chain, Wabi, and other. I cannot disclose which one, but we are discussing collaboration for providing their expertise on supply chain and providing our expertise on strong anti-counterfeiting. So it can be a supply chain information, it can be how to recycle the object, lost and found, or anything you can imagine. You can develop, and with few lines of code you can propose your service to any owner of any object on our ecosystem.
Oh, okay. Okay, so basically, well, you said so much about the technology right now that I got a kind of lost, and yet I'm a little bit techie, so that proves how much I have to learn yet. I think some of us might question how is this related in any way with Wabi and VeChain, like competition-wise? Because you just specified now that there could be some kind of associations, yet this is nothing established yet. Am I right?
Yes, we're just in dialogue there, and one of these three entities we talked about is very open for collaboration. Yeah, because they like to take advantage of our advance in anti-counterfeiting, and we like to propose their service. Yeah, so it's a very new domain. This it's one domain of the Internet of Things, which is non-connected objects that you just scan, which I personally favor compared to connected objects who can be spying on us or whatever. With this, people remain sovereign. They decide when and what information is provided, because when the phone is not next to the microchip is off. So it's a domain that I favor compared to connected objects. So this domain is really new. Most of objects we see around us do not have this kind of microchip, and if we sorry, your phone is not
yes,
is not on my face.
Okay.
So when you see all these use cases that could happen, we see that it's an empty vacuum. So there is no need to step on each other's feet. There is more room for collaboration than competition for the moment, and I think for the next year.
Okay, so that means that VeChain and Wabi, what they're trying to do, they, at the moment I heard, I'm not sure about it, they don't have a chip, they don't have an integrated chip, they don't have a two-layer security.
No.
Is that correct?
Yeah, it's because that's not what they focus on. They focus on supply chain. Yeah.
Oh,
so it's another domain. And their approach is more traditional. It's more top-down, B2B, B2C, traditional supply chain information. As we came from the peer-to-peer monetary domain, we are more in the peer-to-peer approach, growth, bottom-up, and organic, very modular. That's complementary. So there is no real friction on that level for the moment.
Okay, so
sorry, I interrupt you.
Yes.
Just a few use cases we could talk about this peer-to-peer bottom-up approach. We like to be flexible to adapt to any disruptive way of like manufacturing or distributing products. For example, on Fab Labs, we are working with Fab Labs. They are very, very interested because in this, because in the traditional supply chain, products are made in one factory. They are all shipped. I mean, the microchip is sealed onto it at the origin, and then it's propagated all around the world. But for Fab Labs, you download the 3D version of an object that is downloaded in 1,000 Fab Labs all over the world, and they are made by different manufacturers. So it's totally different approach of the supply chain. That's why we are working with Fab Labs. And also distribution such as darknet, which is a very big concern because people do not know what kind of products they are buying there. So we could secure the darknet with such technology, so people can buy a safe product. That's what I call a bottom-up peer-to-peer approach, which is complementary with a traditional top-down supply chain on which the main players we just named are working on.
Okay. Okay, so the darknet, obviously it's something very important to all of us, yet we just hear about it. Many of us, most of us never use it, but in some way it influences the way internet works. Regarding the darknet, there are some products that they are digital and other products they are physical in the darknet, obviously. So basically, Camille, it's about when comes daat, when comes into play, it will help the physical product sale under the dark market, or also the digital ones?
I don't know. We just provide the technology. People use it for their needs. But there is an obvious concern about the authenticity of products you buy on places that we cannot control, that pops up all over the world and that disappear on this without
trace.
Yeah. So it's something that it's a possible use case. That's just what I'm saying.
Okay, very good. And what about the investor side? At what stage are you now with the project? How many developers are in the team? And we hear also that you have some as customers, not only the investors but also banks. Would you like to elaborate more into that?
No, I cannot disclose this for the moment. But what I can say is that we are working with person in very traditional business, like I just told, like luxury and things like that, who have their own traditional way of thinking, and they like their investors to invest in the project, which is traditional. And we are also here in Acapulco talking with the crypto anarchists and these people tied to this philosophy. So it's a big challenge for us to satisfy both sides. We hope that we will not have to choose. That's kind of a crash test for us for our neutral, because we want to provide the most neutral platform. So we try to satisfy both sides. That's what we are negotiating for the moment. So far it's going well. I hope we can satisfy both sides. So I'd say traditional investors as well as crypto, the new crypto domain that is taking off. That's why our token is among the many use cases that it can be useful for. It's a security as well as a utility token, and so it's backed by shares of the company. So we can satisfy the people who are in the IPO way of thinking, as well as the people who are in the ICO way of thinking.
Okay, wow. Regarding the shares of the company, could you elaborate more? There is already this information, you can find it in the white paper or in the summary?
For the moment, we did not expect to have such traction, so the white paper is not even online yet. We are working on it on a daily basis. There is an executive summary that is not linked on the website neither, but I can send it upon request. Or people just subscribe to the pre-registration form for the pre-ICO, and then we have their email. If you don't want to invest, you just put 0 amount and you'll be on the mailing list. I can send you information, but for the moment it's not ready for publication. Or maybe soon, but I still have to make everyone happy and be sure that it's the proper information.
Oh. Awesome, guys. So, well, here it is. That's a really an interesting project. I recommend you all to think about it. Would you like to elaborate something?
I'd like to add some information about the token, because we are starting with an ERC20 token, because we at first we plan to develop our own blockchain, because we have a very disruptive proof of stake concept that we'd like to deploy our technology upon. But the thing is that we estimate there will be like 1 or 2 years of testing to make sure that it's safe. And as we already have partners and investors, we need to start as soon as possible. So we will use a modified ERC20 token at first that will be then migrated to our blockchain. So the use of the token will be votes for the DAO, because we are developing DAO that will take the time, the required time to test, not to have misadventures that it happened with Ethereum DAO. So voting rights for the DAO for people who want tokens, for a private fund to invest in private projects, a public fund that we will provide 10% of the monetary mass for developing like bounties or projects that are helpful for the ecosystem, and people can vote to give money to these projects, as well as voting to keep the system neutral and for updates. Also, the daat token will be used on every smart contract, so it will have a lot of liquidity, because when you want to subscribe to services that I just explained before, every smart contract accepts this token. And we also have an integrated shapeshift system, so people can take any other currency as a reference, like gold, USD, Bitcoin, or whatever. So we can provide the stability that way, and there is competition. Anyone can provide its own shapeshift service.
Well, so also there is something that I need to make the point of. When you scan with your phone with an near field frequency, which is compatible with most of the smartphones, you will connect to the blockchain. But also there has to be a data server which is not decentralized, as far as my understanding goes, and this basically would create a possible point of failure, which I would like you to please elaborate, or maybe just fade away that idea with real basis and real fundamentals. Please elaborate more about that.
No, there is no central authority or root certificate to identify the manufacturers. We have a kind of a web of trust, a new kind of web of trust, a decentralized layer, which is also a use of the tokens that I did not mention before. People can, token owner, wallet owners can and have to, if they want to, but there is an incentive for that, to identify the legit actors of the network. For example, if there are 30 Louis Vuitton identities, how do you know which one is the right one? So people have the ability to make their own research, their own due diligence to identify the real actor, and then they link their wallet to the legit Louis Vuitton, for example, identity. So when the products made by this manufacturer use the services, so there is cash flow with our token, they can get a tiny part of fees, which are optional. So people literally make money, get remunerated, for identifying the legit actors of the network. So it's a decentralized and organic way to identify legit actors. There can be some abuse, but this can be, there are audit services that are made possible to counterbalance this kind of thing. So the first layer is totally organic, and the second layer is optional to make the good balance between centralization and decentralization.
Okay, what about the token, the token's maximum supply?
Oh, it's 77,700,000 tokens.
Okay, and obviously this will have its own ICO, which will happen soon. We don't have the time for that yet.
I don't know when it will happen, because we have so much. We are trying to catch up with traction, so I'm fighting on different battlefields at the moment, as soon as possible. It's a matter of weeks or months, I don't know.
Okay, very good. So there is something also very important which we would like to know about the chip. This chip, obviously, makes this project totally different. And well, tell us more about it, please.
So it is an NFC microchip that provides authenticity of the object by assigning information in real time. So it proves that it owns the private key that is inside the microchip. And this private key is self-generated by the microchip, which means no one can know it, not even the manufacturer, which is an important technical guarantee. We are implementing several functionalities and algorithms, such as the one supported by Ethereum and Bitcoin. So this microchip can hold private keys and assign cryptocurrency transactions, among other uses. And we are the only technology that has such advanced number of features, and also the only one that works both on Android and iOS, which is has been restricted by Apple, but we have exclusive solution to provide the same level of real-time encryption security on iOS as well as on Android. So this encryption functionality is one of the several layers of technology that provide authenticity. Some other are much low-tech, but as strong as this high-tech functionality. It's the addition of all these security layers that makes that such advanced in anti-counterfeiting technology.
Very good. So this basically proves that it's far away ahead. Maybe not in the like people awareness of the project, like VeChain, like maybe what other coins which doesn't even have nothing to do, like for example Ethereum Classic and so on, which are recognized all over the world, but still maybe, I don't know, could this be the next Ethereum? There is basically nothing like this happened before. And you guys, if you make memory, if you've been there and seen that regarding the Ethereum at that time, it was promising very similar things, and look how far it got. So this really intrigues me personally, and I have a question for that. How is the chip going to be weather resistant? Because my background is an electromechanical engineer, and for my understanding, the NFC chips, obviously all chips, they have metal layers, and these metal layers sometimes they might suffer corrosion and different kind of stuff depending on the material they are built with. So could you elaborate how?
Yeah, every product is a new challenge. There is always new things that we never thought about. So we are very close to our partners. We make a research and development together, and we make all the testing required to make sure that the microchip has a long lifetime and is not damaged by the process of manufacturing the object because of heat or humidity. And we are working currently with a renowned jewel manufacturer who has very advanced solutions on how to make the microchip fit and how to seal it. But I cannot disclose more. But every object is a new challenge, and we do our best in terms of collaboration and research and development with our partners to find the best solution for each use case. And about the disruptive technology, potential, like you mentioned with Ethereum, yes, indeed, there is a huge potential in this. But in fact, it's nothing new, and it's very easy to understand. What we are doing in that domain is exactly the same thing as Bitcoin did. It's exactly the same revolution, but in the material world. What Bitcoin did, it solved the problem of counterfeiting of digital money. People tried to make digital money in the past, and what Bitcoin solved with the blockchain is the impossibility to make fake coins. So we are just in the same domain. It's what Bitcoin disrupted with anti-counterfeiting of fake virtual coins. We do the same for the physical domain. So you can see it's very easy to understand, and you can see the potential of it as well.
Okay, there will also be a function of the wallets. You said something earlier which was out of the interview regarding cold wallets. This caught my attention, and I really would like to know that, and I'm sure the audience would love to hear about that, as it's not something very common. Please elaborate about that.
Yes, the current version of Satory Coin that I just shown you has a private key inside, so it's a cold wallet, it's a physical cold wallet. So with a microchip we can just secure this functionality, but also we could remove the QR code because it's a printed information, it's a printed private key. We could just put this private key self-generated by the microchip, so in fact the microchip itself is a cold wallet. So people are just using cold wallets as cash. That's the functionality, or as a storage. Like, for example, any cryptocurrency or ICO could issue banknotes or coins with their token on it. So it's much easier for people to keep it on their mattress, or when they order online, people are not very familiar on how to print the cold wallet, how to configure it, which service to use. So they could just, when they buy their token for ICO, they could just click the option to get it physically by a postal way, and they keep it under their mattress. It's 100% safe, 100% sure about what it is. There is no technological barrier for investing in ICO with this kind of products.
Wow, I'm totally surprised about that. Basically, that means that if you have, if you trade crypto and your grandma knows nothing about crypto, she can still use crypto, but as a physical paper money, like a fiat money, but instead of being released by the bank, it's backed by the by the blockchain of that particular coin, and you can use it as physical for exchanging, and you can see in real time with your phone to check if that physical paper money has the value on it or it does not have it, in a very secure way, which basically you could trade $20,000 worth of Bitcoin physically, giving it from one hand to another, and like in 5 seconds connected to the internet, having access to the blockchain through the microchip in the bill, in the Bitcoin bill, so to say, or any other kind of bill. You can transfer it, see if the value is still inside of there, and if you want to take it out of that physical bill and basically leave it valueless, except for the physical what would be composed of, you can do it at any time also. Am I correct with that?
Yes, that's exactly the use. And it's also much more fun and much more reassuring for people to have tangible assets in their hands, or it can be also a precious metal, and we can combine it. And we also have designers and people who can make really nice coins and banknotes with like transparent banknotes where we can see the printed circuit and the NFC inside with nice design, everything you can imagine, or even precious metal inserted in it, so you have multiple assets inside your banknotes or your coin. It's totally unlimited. The possibilities are tremendous, and it's very exciting because it's so creative.
Okay, awesome. So there you go, guys. Check it out. In the wild time, look at this beautiful scenery, which is something that makes us want to come to live here.
Yes, indeed.
And well, there you go. Any questions? Any inquiries, feel free to drop them, and see you guys. Have a nice, beautiful day, wherever you are in the world. See ya.
Bye bye.
Bye.